a bout scheduled for 10 rounds, and a bout where the bad blood is genuine between them.
First, I'm going to come out and beat him. Second, I'm going to come out and beat him some more. Third, I'm going to come out and whoop his behind. And if anything left over after then, he should quit by then. But basically, he should quit. If the ref don't stop this fight, he's going to quit.
You know what? He talks too much. You know, the guy's really pissed me off. You know, I never really get like this before a fight. I never talk like this about any other fighter. But this guy, his mouth has just been, it's just unbearable. I get tired of hearing his mouth. I don't allow anyone to talk to me the way, he hasn't been talking to me personally, but he's been on these websites and just, he talks too much, you know, and I just really want to break his jaw.
Steve, there's no question listening to Wills yesterday that 6 now. Behind the numbers, Steve.
Well, there's been ambitious matchmaking. Johnson's been matched tough from the very start. In only his 4th bout, he drew on a Showbox undercard with Ibragimov, who was 13-0 at the time and now 22-2. Doing 10. Johnson's already negotiated a psychological hurdle by twice having gone 10 rounds. Wills hasn't fought past 8. And power outage. Johnson's 6 KOs have come against opponents who had a combined record of 27, 42, and 2. He hasn't yet shown the KO crunch to go along with that awesome jab.
Damian Wills is from the Los Angeles area, had no amateur experience, started training seriously when he was 19. He turned pro 5 years ago and was predictably brought along slowly. Wills then ramped up the competition, beat some experienced heavies, including heavy puncher Sisi Salif. Then he ran into unbeaten Chris Arreola and was stopped in the 7th of an exciting fight. That was his only loss, and since then, Wills bounced back with a first-round KO to win to boost his record to 22-1-1 with 16 knockouts. Steve, take us behind the numbers of 27-year-old Damian Wills.
A flattering record. Nick, I have to ask the question, is Wills really a puncher? Consider that 11 first-round KOs have come against opponents who had won only a combined 37% of their bouts. Good loss. In what was by far the most significant bout, Wills fought well, but he still got stopped by Arreola. That was the dismissible loss, but only if Wills wins tonight. And watching his weight, Wills was 250 for Arreola, but then he ballooned to 263 for his next fight. Tonight, 253, which isn't ideal, but it's a lot better than 263.
And that's the setup for our main event. 2 young American heavyweights meet. Kevin Johnson takes on Damian Wills, 10 rounds or less. Here's ring announcer J.D. Lyons.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we welcome you to the Far West Rodeo here in Doraville, Georgia, where all of tonight's action is being brought to you by Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing in association with Atlanta KO Kings and Showtime. This bout is sanctioned by the Georgia State Athletic and Entertainment Commission, Supervisor Kelly Farr. Introducing your 3 judges appointed, Ed Canner, Erwin Deutsch, and Nola Oliver. At the sound of the bell, your referee in charge of the action will be George Chip. This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. This in the heavyweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Showbox main event of the evening. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and weighing in at a tough 253 pounds. He enters the ring tonight with his professional record standing at 22 victories. Only 1 defeat with 1 draw. He has 16 big wins coming by way of knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, living and training out of Los Angeles, California. Introducing Damian BOLO Wills. His opponent tonight, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue and weighing in at an always ready 229 pounds. He joins us tonight, undefeated as a professional, 15 victories, no defeats. He has 1 draw with 6 big wins coming by way of knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, from Asbury Park, New Jersey, and now fighting and living in Atlanta, Georgia, here is Kevin "Kingpin" Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your referee, George Shipp, to bring the fighters together for their final instructions.
We've been over all the rules in the dressing room. You stick to them. You protect yourselves at all times. You obey my commands. This is what everybody's here tonight to see, is you two. Touch gloves, go to your corner, and come out fighting.
Two numbers that jump right out here. Johnson's the same height as Wills, but he has a 6-inch reach advantage. And Johnson came in 229, the lightest he's been since turning pro in 2003.
And they get ready to go here. The big key, there is a standing 8 count. It's in effect here in Georgia. Now that false bell, let's get the real one here. Kevin Johnson in blue, ready to go, and Damian Wills wanted to make this highly personal. He is sick of the trash talk. And a lot of free shots here for Wills as he goes right after, and he laces shots that left zipped right through the gloves of Johnson. Let's watch that jab because it's going to come into play, man in blue.
Well, I'm scoring the first 10 seconds of the fight, and I'm scoring them for Wills.
Well, if Wills could hold up in terms of work rate here, this is what he's got to do. How he could possibly do it for enough rounds to get it done is the open question.
The reason Johnson has the same amount of rounds as Wills with so many fewer fights, well, Wills has scored a lot of first-round knockouts. Amateur experience, well, neither one of them with a lot of amateur experience. Wills went directly to the pros. He was a football player.
Right! Face each other good.
A lot of heavyweights get away with that. And a lot of them go from football or basketball, find boxing's just too damn hard, right, Steve?
Well, that's for sure. The discipline involved is something they're just not used to.
Kevin Johnson, man, that jab is quick. And here comes Wills as Johnson covers up, but Wills pecking away at the body here. Now he's leaning on Johnson. He outweighs him by 24 pounds. They're both 6'3", as you noted on tail of tape, Steve. But Johnson taking his time to dial into this heavyweight fight. And Wills doing a smart thing, coming on behind the jab. Even if he's not going to get there first, at least he's punching his way in.
Something to consider from the start.
Oh, nice left hook.
But Johnson's going to spend a lot of time on the ropes. The ropes are loose. And if you're going to lay against the ropes, loose ropes are good for you because you can lean that much further back away from your opponent's punches.
That's a good point, and also helping Johnson, this is a full 20-footer. So it's a big ring. Johnson now trying to get it in gear. He thinks he's out of danger, and he is. Got the 6-inch reach advantage. Look at that hand speed. You know, his corner talked much about this guy being more than a one-trick pony, Steve. We want to see that right hand from Kevin Johnson. But I like Damian Wills' aggression. It may not be the most elusive, but he's trying to make this fight. There he launches him with that left hook lead.
Don't go that hand. There you go.
Wills has to be aggressive. And does he have to be careful? He could get picked apart by Johnson, but can he get stunned? I mean, that's a stun gun of a jab, Steve, but I don't know what else Kevin Johnson has in the power department. That's a question also that's open at this point of his career, isn't it?
Oh, indeed, and he landed a nice right hand there, maybe the first one of the fight for Johnson. He's landed some jabs, but I wouldn't call it a dominant jab so far tonight.
Big stare down from Kevin Johnson.
And having Kevin Johnson on Showbox tonight, well, over the last few months, we've seen a lot of the better young American heavyweights. These are the way I rate them right now in terms of merit, not in terms of potential. Eddie Chambers, you got to put him at the top. He's got wins over Derek Rossi and Dominic Wynn. Nice boxer. Chris Arreola, well, he's here because he beat Damian Wills, basically. Kevin Johnson met some tough opponents. Travis Walker, 2 wins, albeit narrow wins, against unbeaten heavyweights in Jason Estrada and George Garcia. He's still a work in progress. Chaz Witherspoon, good boxer, not much punch. Malik Scott, Alonzo Butler, these guys, the bottom 3 on the list, have not really fought the competition yet where they can be judged. But these are the top American heavyweights, the top young American heavyweights.
And there you go again, Steve Farhood, with your brutal honesty, leaving Damian Wills off. He didn't like it last time.
No.
You gotta be, I'd rather be honest.
You know what I told him? I said, Damian, you want to be on the list, win this fight.
Well, he's out. He's going after it. It's only 1 round in the books, but Kevin Johnson laying on the ropes in the corner, no need to be there, ever, it would seem.
Quit holding him. Let go of him.
Referee George Chip. Johnson sticking that jab. He got it low, so he's got to power it from down around the belt line. And Wills sees it coming, but when it's not, Wills jumps in and goes to work inside. He's got to, again, get inside and stay inside. But smart aggression. Don't run into that stingray of a left jab.
Well, Wills is slipping the jab on occasion, but not consistently enough. His best bet, walk in, get inside, force Johnson to keep his gloves up, where he's much less likely to jab.
And there it is. Johnson with the reach advantage.
Don't hold the arm. Box.
Not shortening up, doing any kind of work inside. He wants to create that space. And able to fight like our great jabbers, backing up. There, flicking the jab. Wills tries to slip it. And that is one way. Slip that jab. Roll underneath, perhaps. Move your head more. Johnson short with the jab, and Wills, undeterred, walks him down again.
From Wills' perspective, Nick, this is going to come down to conditioning, aggressiveness, how much he wants it. He's not having much trouble getting on the inside, but can he do it for all 10 rounds?
Well, why have other people had so much trouble? Is Johnson just not busy enough? He doesn't look very elusive to me, and he's content to lay on the ropes and in the corners too much.
Well, in terms of quality, Wills is one of the better fighters Johnson's fought. A lot of them just have been hypnotized by that jab. And remember, Johnson has that 82-inch reach.
Get back clean. Here we go.
An advantage in almost every fight.
And there, Johnson, maybe Johnson just saying this is going to be a 10-rounder, and this guy's going to fade. But you know what, Steve? It is early, and I don't want to start getting on his case. But he better dazzle people, and he's got to show more than, as I called it, a one-trick pony. He's got to open up the arsenal. He's got to see more offense out of Kevin Johnson. And that's what fans are hoping for tonight. And this is what he promised to deliver.
Well, Wills has Johnson on the inside. He's done nothing with him. I don't think he's landed a single punch of note. If anything, Johnson won the last exchange when they were against the ropes. That's no good for Wills. Bad sign.
Wills got to put some rounds in the banks. I gave him the first round, and maybe even this one, but
Hold up, champ. That's 2 rounds, baby. You're looking good. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Put your arms down. Put your arms down. Put your arms down. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. A minute's a long time for the rest. Take a deep breath. You've been in the gym 30 seconds on your breath. Now you got a minute. Go. Take a deep breath. You're doing a good job, but you got to keep him on the ropes. Every time you throw a punch, you try to use your left hand. Forget trying to catch him with the right.
Take the little shots on the inside, right? You hear me? You hear me? The little shots on the inside. When he making a mistake, when you touch him, I want you to angle out and come over top of the right hand. I got you right here. All right?
No split right.
That's where we at. Be smart. Be smart. I got it.
third round. Can Damian Wills penetrate Kevin Johnson's jab? Can Johnson do more, work inside? Nice left hybrid hook from Johnson, and that's got Wills fighting mad. Wills has Johnson right in front of us on the ropes. Now he'll back up, try to look for space, and whistle a left uppercut. That missed. But Steve Johnson's still there to be hit.
It's critical that Wills moves his hands when he gets Johnson on the rope. Even if he doesn't land shots, this very well could be a 10-round fight. He's got to try to impress the judges by moving his hands. He can't lose the exchanges when he's in close. That's where he needs to be.
I agree. And Kevin Johnson has to do more than throw the jab. We've seen a hook from him occasionally that landed very little from the right hand. Wills looking to jump on him. Wills trying to perhaps feint Johnson into a mistake. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Wills trying to get in punching range. It's that simple.
That was a nice right hand. It was a 1-2 by Johnson.
As he caught Wills on the way in. Good move.
Hey, Wills fought very quickly out of the gate against Arreola. Then he slowed down. If he slows down tonight, he has no chance of winning this fight. He has to fight 10 hard rounds against Johnson. Got to make Johnson fight.
That's a tall order. He had an excuse in that fight. According to him, he hurt his shoulder and couldn't really spar the last couple of weeks and ran out of gas. But you know what? Second guess, why not do more road work?
And what fighter has ever fought a fight at 100%? Nobody does.
It's a hurting game. So the man in black,
Break. Don't be leaning on him.
Damian Wills, needs this win. He can't afford a second loss. Kevin Johnson, perhaps the smoothest, loudest talker among the young heavyweights, needs to dazzle. He's got some of the crowd up on its feet. A lot of people from his adopted hometown of Atlanta here. Now, Wills just measured Johnson, and then he got clipped with a big counter punch. So just not doing enough. Just tapping with that jab, but the big right hand failing to land for Wills. And Johnson now unleashing lead right hands that have found
Don't lean on him. Step back punch. Let's go.
One of the reasons Johnson's jab is so good, well, he throws 4 or 5 of them sometimes at a time. Misses the first one, misses the second one, lands the next one.
That flurry didn't look like much inside.
No, he doesn't have a left hook. Yeah, he doesn't have a left hook, but he does have a good right hand.
That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. That's what we want. Let me get this on. I got it. See? You don't want to fucking do what I want you to do.
Counter, catch counter.
Catch counter. The bitch is sucking air right now. He's sucking air.
Yep.
That's what we're going to do.
Go downstairs.
That's what we're going to do. But be smart.
Upside down, coach.
That's one.
I got it right here, Doug.
But I want you to be smart. Be smart. You're going to make a mistake, right? You're going to suck a little bit more air.
Action from round 3. Johnson, you know, it's almost as if he hypnotizes his opponent with the jab, jab, jab. So when he does throw another shot or follows with a right hand, the opponent isn't expecting it. A lot of shots from Johnson. That's why I said he doesn't have much of a left hook, because the hook, he was not on balance when he threw it. He didn't bend his knees at all.
Steve,
he does have a good right hand.
Well, I thought a lot of volume punching. He wins the war there, but a lot of sloppy punching. There were a lot of misses from him, and I thought Wills got in with a very clean punch. That was a close round. How do you have it?
2 rounds to 1 for Kevin Johnson. I gave Wills the first. I've given Johnson second, 2 and 3.
Man, I mean, that's just an open shot. Okay, as you said, trying to hypnotize Wills maybe in there, but if Wills could be elusive and set up that offense and get to work, he's had his opportunities inside.
Johnson talking to the round card girls. Very interesting.
Depends on what he said.
Not today, baby, we were just told he said.
That jab, and here's the hot dog show. Boy, Wills trying to figure him out, trying to come on behind that right. And Steve, I got to say at this point, you made a good point about Damian Wills. There's some of that power, the 16 KOs, a little bit trumped up in him. How great a whack does he look like he has?
You know, I think his problem, Nick, the reason we're not seeing much power from him, the only time he's dictating is when he's in close. But when he's in close, he's in too close. And I understand why he's in too close, because he takes away Johnson's jab that way. But he really hasn't been able to land anything heavy to the body. He had much more offensive success against Ariola.
Well, then that means if they're even inside, because he's not landing and Johnson isn't effective inside, all Johnson has to do is go into the pattern that's carried him so far in his career. Get it done from outside. And he's doing it now. He's in punching range. Now Wills just walking in face first.
The jab at Nick is such a beautiful punch because it sets everything else up. It disguises the power punches that follow. And in Kevin Johnson's case, it's a weapon by itself because it can be a quick jab or a hard jab.
Well, again, we'll discuss that at length as we see him along the trail. Again, maybe it's so effective because it's all he's got. And he could really whip it, can't he? It's straight and it's hard. There's that little left hook. Flurry inside, Wills backs off. Now Wills eating some serious punches. And he's getting driven back by Johnson. Wills looks to be trying to set up some bombs of his own, but he was pushed back for the first time in this fight. And he's not liking it.
Wills rode with some of those power shots, but some of them landed as well. At least half of them, I'd say.
I'm with you. It took a little bit of a toll. Big round for Kevin Johnson in blue.
You got to just stay on and keep him against the rope, champ. Lean back. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Raise your hands up. Take a deep breath.
We're in round 4.
Take another.
Kevin Johnson,
okay,
he talks a lot before the fight.
You got to stay close.
Tonight he's talking during the fight.
Take a deep breath. You keep working hard, you're going to get a second win.
Not today, baby.
Come on, take a deep breath. Take another one.
Well, maybe talking wasn't such a good idea because when he said, not today, baby, he got hit by a left hook. But the rest of the round was all Kevin Johnson. He's winging those shots. Again, the left hook, not much on it. But he landed enough of those shots to clearly win the round and that exchange.
A real sense of urgency in the corner of Damian Wills. They say he got to crank it up. You got to make it happen. You got to bring some heat and maybe take some chances because that was a terrible round for Damian Wills. And an excellent one. Let me give Kevin Johnson his due. He looked excellent in that round. And that last minute was a thing of beauty. Now he's putting on a show. Wills going for it as he drives that left hook. And here, punching in combination, he's got Johnson backed up in the blue corner. Johnson talking to everybody.
Hasn't said anything to us. I'm a little insulted, Nick.
Well, wait till he hears our assessment. Now, he looks like an excellent fighter, but again, I'm selfish. We're talking about the next great American heavyweight, our potential contender here. We want to see something special. I want to see Kevin Johnson dazzle. And again, he's got a beautiful jab and moves pretty well. But let's see that right hand. Damian Wills, just a single loss, as we mentioned, to Chris Ariola, who's unbeaten and on everybody's list of prospects. But he can't lose this fight. And now he's backed off again, doing very little.
Well, you know, Larry Holmes put it poetically when he used to say, get him drunk before you mug him. And what that meant was, you know, fire that jab, soften him up. Seems to be that's Kevin Johnson's approach too.
And maybe it'll come. That was a little, almost a hybrid. He throws that lead left hook. Now Johnson begins to bang. Maybe he has hurt us. Rapid fire combination. And Wills walking in, not knowing what to do. He looks confused, dude.
He does look confused. And Johnson there showing a little bit more on the hook.
Absolutely.
You know, Nick, I'm looking around here. I know Kevin Johnson lives around here, but almost everybody is standing. You see them right behind the fighters in that shot right there. Those people are not sitting, they're standing. That's very interesting for a Kevin Johnson fight because he's been accused of being boring in the past and he's gotten booed during his fights.
Right, but I have to say Damian Wills, his wife and little baby, they're all, well, she's not standing, but his wife's standing too, probably with a sense of trepidation here as Wills is having a bad time of it. He's in black, and here he's walking in, shooting the jab a little bit, nothing behind it really. And Kevin Johnson in blue having his way here. He's really beginning to pull away in this fight at the halfway mark. Nice follow-up right hand from Wills there. Now he's got Johnson on the ropes. Johnson just doesn't seem to be bothered at all by Wills' power or lack thereof.
Now you see what you're doing now. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You see what you're doing now. You got a good jab now. Sit up. Put your arms down. Put your arms down. Take a deep breath. Come on, let's get back into this fight, champ. We got to get back in this fight. Take it. Listen to me. You got a good jab, and that jab is getting you there. You hitting him with that jab. Up and out of jab to get close to it. Then you can move your hands. Take a deep breath. You got to.
Action from round 5. Kevin Johnson taking control. Maybe breaking Wills down, not just with the jab, but with fast hands and combinations. And you see those fast hands right here. Breaking him down psychologically. Wills says, yeah, sure, let's fight, but there's only one guy doing the fighting in there.
It's all about you, champ.
Hey, I need that jab. Get the jab, all right?
Steve, do you agree with that strategy that Wills should start jabbing?
Wills' best shot right now, he's clearly not doing anything effectively on the inside. So he's going to have to try to catch Johnson backing up with a shot from a little bit of a distance, probably a left hook. It seems to be his punch of choice. But just laying in on the inside is not working. If anything, he's resting now more than punching when he's on the inside.
Yeah. It's starting to look like he could be in a fight he can't win, Steve. I say that because he certainly can't match Johnson's jab, his reach. He's got to get inside. And I don't think he has any more power than Kevin Johnson from what I've seen so far. He's had clean shot opportunities, and he hasn't rocked Johnson and made him hesitate in the least. Here it is. He's talking to the ring card girls again.
One of the ring card girls yelled for Bolo Wills to knock Johnson out, and Johnson's been responding to her the whole time.
Break, break, break!
Well, he's got 10 of them to choose from.
Look at Wills on the inside. Nothing effective. He's really decelerated in this fight.
As his corner said, he's got to get back into this fight. And he really just had his moments.
Step back, box.
Well, if Wills is saying this guy has nothing, again, I'm saying that if Johnson's saying that, then Johnson's got to show us even more.
You know, I know it's Johnson's way of doing things, but talking to the crowd and looking out over the ropes and stuff, hey, all that has to do is cost you once. And it was a big mistake. Right now he's getting away with it. Looking out the round card girls again. They're very pretty, but I think he can wait to look at them.
Yeah, that's a career move that could turn into disaster. I don't know what Wills is waiting for here.
Well, now it's Wills on the ropes. That tells you how this fight has evolved and turned.
Yeah. It's Johnson just muscling Damian Wills. They're right in front of us, and Wills is getting backed up and getting seriously clipped with flush shots now. And again, it's Johnson fighting what he wants, resting what he wants, and that's controlling pace, direction, tempo, the whole 9 yards here tonight.
You know, you like Kevin Johnson or don't like him, but I tell you one thing, he's going to make you watch him.
There's a little bit of attitude. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe a lot of attitude if you could back it up. And he hasn't lost a professional fight yet. And I will give him that for being entertaining as we close out. Another round in the bank for Kevin Johnson. They're the ones that stirred the pot.
Which one? Which one was it?
I think they'll all.
They're all rooting for Wills. Huh?
They'll all claim credit for that.
Right now, son. Huh? How we feeling? How we feeling?
That's water, man.
Listen, son. Keep doing what you're doing, but like I said, be smart. He ain't on your level.
No, not at all.
Right? All right? You want to say something? I want you to look real good going down the stretch. All right? All right?
Got a guy here, you'd know with or without the hat, Evander Holyfield. Congratulations on yet another heavyweight title shot coming up in Moscow. How in the heck did you do it?
I just kept working hard. I never gave up on my dream and knew that something would turn out.
Steve?
What do you think of the matchup you have, Evander? You're going to be fighting Ibragimov. He's a southpaw. He's kind of short. What do you see from him? What do you know about him so far?
Well, he's a very aggressive fighter, and he throws a lot of punches. And I guess the most important thing, when people throw a lot of punches, it calls you to throw a lot of punches as well.
Evander, you're obviously a guy in his 40s who's living his dream and have thrilled us for years and feel you still have a lot in front of you. But looking at the landscape of American heavyweights, we featured a lot of them on ShoBox. Just can you assess this fight? Both these guys are young with one loss between them. Where do you think they are in their career, and what's impressed you or not?
Well, I guess the most important thing, they are throwing a lot of punches. But, you know, they're not throwing combinations. They're not going to the body. The distance is not as good as it should be, but it's a good fight.
Well, you're a guy, you know about Larry Holmes, of course, and Johnson emulates him. How much can you get done with a jab? He's got a great jab, but you got to have a lot more, obviously.
Well, jab is one of the most important weapons there, and he do use the jab very well, but he throw a good snapping jab, but you don't follow through. You know, a good right hand, left hook would be a great part.
And strategically, what is Wills and Black doing wrong? When he gets inside, what's happening?
Well, the most important thing, he's not bending his leg. He tends to get too close to the guy before he delivers the punch. And so it's easy for the guy to get close. Their body's so close he can't get the leverage on the punches.
Looks like Kevin Johnson's jab, Evander, a little bit more of a speed jab than a power jab. How would you analyze the jab?
Well, it's flicking. It's a flicking punch. Because if he stepped into the jab, he probably would knock him down. But it's a slapping punch. It's a slapping punch, and it get that quick.
What's your opinion? You're a guy who's never hot-dogged in the ring in your life. And I'm not trying to set up a loaded question for you, but what do you think of Kevin Johnson's antics playing to the crowd?
Well, I think, you know, for the ability that he's had, he's doing what he thinks is necessary to distract this guy and make this guy give up.
Well, that's a dangerous thing to turn your back on somebody, isn't it?
Well, it is, and eventually it'll cost him if you keep doing it.
So, Evander, you're getting ready in October. When you hit training camp, you go to Russia. Is it going to be any different for you?
I don't know. I've never been to Russia, and it's all depending on the weather. I'm a hot weather guy. That cold weather can get me.
Kevin Johnson, another big round. Damian Wills slipping further and further, arguably behind in this heavyweight fight, scheduled for 10 as we complete 7 here in Doraville, Georgia. Big flurry from Johnson. Pleasure to be joined by a guy who's made history time and time again. All the best to you, Evander.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
One last thing for me, Evander. If you're successful in Moscow, I bet you can't wait to talk to people like me and say, I told you so.
Well, you know, really, that's not important. My goal is to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. That once I become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, I'm going to have a lot of talking to do.
It's a guy we've learned to never count out, Evander Holyfield. Thanks for being with us.
At the end of round 7, Kevin Johnson exploded with a bunch of punches. He had been quiet for most of the round. Now, a lot of these shots aren't landing, but they came in bunches and they came fast.
What's your man doing? Another hit?
Well, familiar pattern has set in here. And interesting to hear Holifield's comments in terms of Johnson really should be throwing combinations. There's no question about it. It's a valid observation again, and criticism.
Well, I think he's thrown combination. He's thrown combinations in flurries.
Yeah, throw
just
more.
Not that often.
Yeah,
right.
And Damian Wills just can't get the kind of punching power he just can't generate it when he's in close. And he again has had his opportunities to be right there. Johnson talking to him now, firing back, content to lay on the ropes, feeling again the punches from Wills, and obviously saying you can't hurt me, Steve, and he can't, it looks like. Any heavyweight hits a guy flush, he could go, but
I think Wills is probably about 5 seconds away from just butting Johnson right in the middle of the head, because Johnson's flicking his glove in his face. He's talking to the ref. More than once tonight, Nick, Johnson has gotten hit with shots when he's been looking elsewhere. Again, all you'd have to do is get hit with one big shot in your career, and you could suffer a knockout doing that. I know it's part of his game. He's into the psychology, breaking his opponent down, maybe a little humiliation. I just don't see it as a good idea to ever turn your head away from your opponent.
well, Steve, you know, the total lack of respect, and he wanted to pull some stuff yesterday before the weigh-in. There was a stare-down, had to be separated. It's just, I understand that is his game, and I suppose it does come down to he's emotionally always under control, and he just wants to have an opponent become so unglued, and it's worked, it seems, whether Wills has the ability and is fighting out of control now because he's mad at the guy. I don't think so. I think he's just limited as a heavyweight, and Johnson knows he would control him in every way.
Well, I said at the top that if he's going to go all the way, Johnson's going to have to show something more than a jab, and I think he has shown more than a jab tonight. He's shown fast hands. He's shown on occasion a decent right hand, and on the inside, he's shown defense. He's not getting hurt on the inside.
Yeah, I remember Chris Areola stopped Damian Wills, and you know, that was a guy, a volume puncher, not a big hitter either. And I would agree with you that Johnson's been impressive, but he hasn't still dazzled me the way I think he's going to have to be. But again, fortifying himself as a serious prospect, there's no doubt. He's got skill. There, in with the left hand, but the right not behind it. 3 shots galore as Wills is clueless here to penetrate Johnson.
You won the round, champ. Take a deep breath.
Come on, Sheriff.
Take a deep breath. Hands down. Come on. Take a deep breath. We got a lot of, we got 3 more rounds, champ. We got 2 more rounds, all right?
2 more rounds.
You got 2 more rounds. All right, take a deep breath. The hook got in there. Get your sneaky uppercuts in there, all right? All right, when you're getting live, he leans back, go straight up here, towards the neck part.
Action from round 8. How many times have we seen Kevin Johnson pulling away, talking to the referee around girls? Well, the first left hook by Wills missed, but the second one landed. Right now, Wills just doesn't have the guns or the pop to threaten Johnson, but Johnson has gotten hit with a couple of left hooks because he hasn't been paying attention.
You got 2 rounds. Hey, you got 2 rounds. Come on, man.
I'm sorry, I got to be critical of Wills. He doesn't have the power. I don't see any leverage on his shots. Again, I say again, he's had the opportunities. He's been in the right position to do damage. How do you have it, Steve, through 8?
79 to 73. Wills, first round to Wills, every other round since to Johnson. Right now, Nick, the only chance Wills has, and it's a slim chance, when Johnson flurries from a little bit of a distance, Wills has to crank up a left hook and catch Johnson between punches. If he can do that, he's got a shot. But you know, no reason to think Johnson doesn't have a good chin.
Gee, Steve, I don't. Why should he even wait? Even if he can't be first, then counter that jab. He hasn't countered that jab all night, and maybe it's the 6-inch reach advantage. I don't want to make too much of that. I haven't seen a right hand over the top of that jab once.
Well, if Wills is aggressive and leads, you know, Johnson's seeing every punch coming. He's not going to land anything big. He's going to have to punch when Johnson's punching, as he did right there.
That's a good point, and to credit Johnson, his defense has been excellent when he's concentrating on it and not the crowd. Now it's like a sparring session.
Wow, those ropes loose, man. When a 230-pound guy like Kevin Johnson leans his upper body against that top rope, he's almost out of punching range.
Don't come too close to us, man. I don't want to take a fall this late in the night, Steve. There's that right hand as he finally strings a combination together.
Maybe Damian Wills needs Denzel Washington to appear. You know, Denzel's sort of a mentor to Damian Wills, and he's at almost all of his fights, but he left for Europe yesterday for a vacation, so he's not here.
It's been no vacation for Damian Wills, start to finish in this one. Louis Johnson squared up in front and happy to exchange with Wills, beat him to the punch repeatedly. And it's apparent that Wills can't hurt him. I'm not saying a heavyweight can't get lucky with a shot, but I think Johnson's comfortable to stay in the pocket at times.
Well, Wills may not get lucky tonight, Nick, but somebody in the future might. And if they do get lucky, it'll be because Kevin Johnson's playing around too much and not paying attention.
Oh, wow, that was a sharp, sharp left hand from Johnson. Wills just has no answers. He's never stopped trying, really. And now here comes Johnson turning on the jets before the bell.
You won that round. Okay, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Hey, you won that round. Take a deep breath. Sit back, son. Take a deep breath. Get your hands down. Come on. Take a deep breath. You won that round. That left hook, that jab you got is good. Work the jab, and get in. All right? Oh, you
Good little sprint. I like that sprint. Last round. Do it for baby girl. All right? Last round, son. Last round.
Take a deep breath.
This is all you, Bolo. This is all you.
Take a deep breath.
Don't try that pity pat stuff.
Take a deep breath.
We're not worried about that.
I'm looking for that right hand down the pipe. But you ain't got to take no chances because the guy's still kind of sneaky. All right?
Keep your head down, all right? Listen to me. When he's throwing punches like that, you tuck down, you come up with your hook.
Here we go. Here we go. Move and turn it. Let's go.
10th and final round here in Doraville, Georgia. Nick Charles, Steve Farhood ringside. Hope you're enjoying this heavyweight action. It's really one-way action for the most part. Kevin Johnson has taken over this fight from the early stages. Johnson in blue. Let's see how he closes out. Wills in black needs a miracle. He's going for it, launching himself at Johnson. Steve, from a stamina point of view, Wills at least hasn't perceptibly faded. He's still trying in the 10th and final. He's just not getting there, is he?
No, yesterday he said to us, I'd love to fight Kevin Johnson on the ropes. You know what? For large stretches of this fight, he's gotten Kevin Johnson on the ropes.
Johnson's allowed himself to stay on the ropes, you're right. But, yeah, the point is he has had the opportunities. He's had them all night.
Johnson's work rate, yeah, he's slowed down here in the last couple of rounds, no doubt about that. But not to the point where he hasn't won the round. He won the ninth.
Oh, yeah, Wills isn't making him pay enough or pressing him enough where he could afford to take some time off.
Interesting thing yesterday, talking to Joe DeGuardia, who's Kevin Johnson's promoter. we said, who do you see as the breakthrough fight for Kevin Johnson? And I'm figuring he's going to name, you know, a top 20 heavyweight. He answered Sam Peter. I thought that was a very interesting answer because Sam Peter is obviously a championship caliber fighter.
That's a champion soon.
That's exactly right, and that's interesting that they would be looking that far ahead already.
Yeah, that's a quantum leap, obviously. There's a good combination from Johnson. Wills trying in vain to fight back, walking into shots there. Wills beginning to drop his hands. He looks tired now, Steve. Little show of respect there from Johnson finally to Wills after that 9th round. We'll watch closely to see what they say to each other in the body language when this fight finishes. Johnson's been taunting Wills all night, disrespecting him all week, and dominating him start to finish.
The jabs aren't coming as often from Johnson, but when he fires them, they do land.
We'll watch them close it down here in Georgia.
Quit leaning on him. Let's go. Time. It's over.
Nobody touching gloves there. Nice showy finish, I'll say that, from both sides.
You know, I'll tell you, Kevin Johnson, this was not a boring fight in my eyes, Nick. You know, these were heavyweights. Kevin Johnson let his hands go. Were there big shots coming from him? Maybe not. But I was entertained, and you know, while I wouldn't recommend it for other fighters, you know, Johnson's attitude in the ring is entertaining as well.
Valid point.
Well, it wasn't just the jab with Kevin Johnson tonight. He showed more than just the jab. He showed very fast hands, didn't show all that much power against Wills, who's never been down. But Kevin Johnson flashed fast hands, followed with the right on occasion, even showed us some left hooks, and broke down Bolo Wills, first physically and then a little bit psychologically, with antics like this, where he's talking to the round card girls during the fight. He controlled the fight actually after round 1. Wills could do nothing on the inside. There were times during the fight where Johnson put Wills on the ropes and was scored effectively. So Johnson did show more than just the left jab.
That's right.
He threw him in front of that James Tony shit.
Wills tried to come on one last valiant attempt, Steve, at the dying seconds.
This was a heck of a finish, Nick. I mean, the 9th and 10th rounds didn't have much, but they really went at it the last 15 seconds. And like you said, Wills didn't hurt him. He didn't hurt him the whole 10 rounds.
And you got to wonder where this guy's headed. It looked promising for him. He told us he can't, and hey, the pure unvarnished truth, he can't afford another loss. Now he's just has to rebuild, start over with a guy with limited amateur experience. It's a deep hole that Damian Wills has put himself in.
Kevin Johnson took a big step tonight, Nick. He hasn't had much television exposure. This was a big fight against a quality opponent with only one loss. And you have to move Johnson toward the top of the list of young American heavyweights, if not at the top.
Well, Steve, you gave the 1 round to Wills, the rest to Johnson. That totals 99-91 Kevin Johnson, but J.D. Lyons has the official card now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the Showbox scorecards. Judge Ed Cantor scored the bout 191. Judge Erwin Deutsch scored the bout 99-91. And Judge Nola Oliver scored the bouts 99-91. All three for your winner by unanimous decision, Kevin Kingpin Johnson.
Well, absolutely no surprise to this one. Kevin Johnson wins easily. In fact, one judge on one card, he pitched a shutout. Damian Wills will have a long ride back to California from Georgia and reassess things as we look at the victorious Kevin Johnson.
Quality
And the official cards here, as we said, in the middle, 100 to 91, and agreeing with you on the 99-90.